Good morning. My name is Bernardo. Yeah, I want them in the picture, not me. And today we're going to be talking about this book, On Talking Terms with Dogs, Calming Signals. This is Willie, and this is Earl. This is their first time on camera, so you got to give them a little bit of a break. But we're not going to talk about the whole book today. We're just going to talk about one chapter at a time. And we're going to talk about chapter 2, Calming Signals, and how they are used. So we go to chapter 7, and you can see how I've marked up the page already, so we can discuss what I think is interesting. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just go through these pictures on these yellow things, wherever I've made the comments on the pictures, and then we'll go from there. Have you ever noticed your dog turning his head when you try to take a photo of them? They're telling you that he feels uncomfortable with this. Wrong. He's telling you that in his mind, the way his pack order is, he cannot go eye to eye with you. Eye to eye is a confrontation. Eye to eye is I'm challenging you for your spot in the pack order. If you notice how these dogs are situated, they're basically perpendicular to each other. That's not an accident. That's how they sit to tell you how they are in the pack order. Now, as I make these changes in the pack order, you're going to see, like this little guy right here, I think he just yawned, but I'll check the review on that. They are out of pack order because Earl is higher in the pack order than Willie. But the way I sat down is I put Willie higher in the pack order. Now, Earl is saying, not disrespecting my space, but he's saying, no, I'm my own team captain. I'm working in an entirely different direction than you guys. So I'm not challenging you for your spot. And because he's facing behind me, he's saying he's my number 2 to Willie saying he's his own number 1. Okay? So that's what we're talking about, or that's what I'm talking about when I say wrong, because that head turning has nothing to do about their uncomfortableness of the situation. It has to do with pack order. How polite. Each of these dogs uses calming signals to avoid conflict. And you see that one right down here in the bottom. Now, in my opinion, what that is saying is that each dog is claiming their own space. You see how he's going to the back, my back? That's an entirely different space than Willie going up this way. So, yes, they are using calming signals to avoid conflict, but that's not entirely correct on what she's saying and why. A head turn diverts a direct gaze. Right here. Head turn diverts a direct gaze. Yes, but not entirely. So face-to-face is confrontation. That's what we have there. But one is turning their head, saying, I'm not going to have confrontation with you, but I'm not going to yield my space also. Same thing here. I'm not going to confront you for this space, but I have my own space and my own things to do. Okay. And then the last picture, when one dog turns his head, another will often answer by doing the same. Okay. Right here. That's what they're talking about right there. Now, doing the same in the same direction is claiming the same space. Now, if you'll look, each of the dogs, I'm guessing on the white dog, but the black dog, you can see that they have both their foot on the log. Uh, what that is they're both claiming the log. They're both claiming that same space, and by both looking in the same direction, they're each are saying, "I'm higher than you," or "I'm at least my own team captain." Same thing with Wheelie right here, going in this direction with me. He's saying he's his own team captain, as opposed to Earl saying he's my number two, but he's going to respect Wheelie's space back here to not cross that line. Okay. Now, I'm just not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read where I disagree. Uh, your dog may turn his head uh, if you stoop over him. Although he may stand still, he might also turn his head, which tells you, that's just what I read earlier. He tells you he's uncomfortable with the situation. Uh, no, no. Uh, if you think that there is an order to things, a pack order to things, and that there is a balance to the pack order, then you can see that their head turns are at the appropriate time to keep balance to the pack on whether or not someone is coming or another dog is coming into their space, leaving their space. They'll keep balance to the pack in that regard. Okay, so you can use head turning yourself when a dog starts to get worried or frightened if you are approaching him impolitely. If a scared dog starts to bark or growl at you, stop moving towards him and turn your head to one side, and that will help them feel better. And I wrote, why? Why do you think that works? Uh, because that's not what I'm reading in this whole thing. So let's go backwards. Stop moving towards him. You never chase, we flank. So if you're moving towards your dog, you're doing something wrong automatically. So don't work towards your dog. Flank your dog, no matter what's going on. You flank them. Don't go towards them. You can use head turning yourself. Yes, I call that a perimeter check. If you're turning your head from left to right and you're scanning the perimeter, that's you doing the job of the team captain. And that's you saying, I'm at least my own team captain. And you do not have authority over me. Now, yeah, okay. So after we set that pack order, I'm going to have to look at the tape and see exactly what happened. But Earl is now connected beyond Wheelie because he reached over after I reset the pack order. And I'll have to double check on when that happened, but that was cool. Okay. So doing that perimeter check says that you are your own team captain, and therefore they must make a choice on how to address you at that point. Because up till then, most people are not their own team captain, and most people uh, have their dog claim them. So by turning your head, yes, that says something to the dog, but not what it says here. Uh, Your dog might get worried or frightened if you are approached him impolitely. Now, approaching him directly towards is impolitely, but I'm wondering what she means by that because she doesn't follow through and say what that is. That's why I said why. Okay, so if a scared dog starts to bark or growl at you, okay, what that scared dog is doing is doing that perimeter check to look for a safe exit. Now, it doesn't mean he's actually scared of you. I want you to understand that our behaviors as we see them today are biased and not always correct. So if you were to allow me to change your way of thinking about things, you'll see that how we believe the dog's behaviors are today are not actually correct. So a dog may look scared to us, but not to them. They're just scanning to try and find a safe, to keep balance to the situation. Okay. The next thing is if, where was it? a frightened if a frightened dog starts to bark or growl, if a dog barks or growls or makes a sound, let's just say makes a sound, uh, in this situation, they are saying they are at least their own team captain and can give you direction. Please consider that dogs aren't trying to uh, just bark at us and think that that doesn't mean anything. Every action a dog has meaning. And if you can figure out what that meaning is to everything, then you'll be able to communicate with them. So, if a dog is barking, they are saying they're at least their own team captain and have authority over you. If anything, just to stop you from coming forward. Now, authority over you does not necessarily mean claim or want to dominate you, because there is no dominance in the dog world. But the dog is trying to communicate to you something. Uh, and you need to understand that it's about security. The topic of conversation in a dog's mind is about security, and will always be about security until security is resolved. Okay, next page. When two dogs meet, they usually both look away for a second. That's that perimeter check. I say when a dog uh, meets you and their topic of conversation is security, hi, I'm Bernardo. Welcome, very nice day. We got nice weather we have here today. That's our topic of conversation, how we start when we meet somebody. A dog says, how you doing? Very nice to meet you. What area do you have covered? So when one dog turns one way and the other dog turns the other way, they're saying, you have that way, I have this way. Together we have everything covered. And everything is good and peaceful. If they both look the same direction, like they do in this bottom picture, that is the start of a confrontation. And the conversation is about space and who is uh, the higher team captain at that particular moment. Often, when I go up to my dog Sega to take a picture, she finds the camera a bit scary. She looks away when I take a picture, but looks at me again when I remove the camera from my face. Okay, so it's very similar to the same as having a book in front of me. If I have a book in front of me and I put it in front of my face, you can no longer see me. This space is different than this space from here. So if that creates two different spaces, then their conversation of who has what area covered needs to be addressed at that particular time. All right, so let's talk about this pack order right here. If I wanted to get this packed in the correct spot, I need to move this guy this way, right here, and put in the comments, do you think he should be here or here? And I will make the next video about this conversation from here, which way he's supposed to be. Okay? Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.